Blog Talk Radio, the world's largest online radio network.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. We are so very, very honored to have actress and fellow tap dancer Joan Benedict Steiger with us. Welcome, Joan. How are you today?
Oh, I'm terrific. It's a gorgeous day here in Malibu, a little cooler, which is very welcome.
Oh, well, we've got leaves falling here in Maine, and it's cold.
Oh, so you're in Maine.
I'm all the way in Maine.
Oh, one of my best friends from high school lives in Maine.
It's beautiful, but all the fall color is happening a little bit early here. Oh, yeah. I think it's going to snow.
Nice. Well, I grew up in Long Island, so I know all about the fall, and I love the Long Island too.
Yeah, I just had a chance. I grew up in Iowa, and I had a chance to visit Long Island a couple of years back. We took the ferry from Connecticut over to Long Island, and I just fell in love with it. It's so beautiful.
Yes, it was beautiful.
Yeah.
I haven't been there since my childhood.
Yeah. I never knew there were vineyards there and everything. It was just absolutely gorgeous. But anyway,
yes.
So
very lovely.
Yeah, well, we're going to have about 20 minutes with you today. We're going to break from our normal hour because you actually, do you have a tap dancing class?
Yes, I got my tap dancing class. I have tap classes 3 times a week, and I've been tapping since I was 7, and I've just managed to tap all the way up until now.
I love that.
I've always loved it. It's just so much fun, and we have a wonderful choreographer that has done a lot of movies and Broadway, and a group of girls that have been ex-dancers, and so it's loads of fun. We've all been together about 8 years, so I look forward to my tap classes.
Yeah, it sounds like it's a very expert-level tap class, too.
Yeah, we've got some great routines, about 8 or 9 really wonderful routines, and it's great.
Do you ever go back and teach the little pipsqueaky kids how to tap dance and so forth, or how do you foster the love of tap dancing these days?
How do I what?
How do you create the love for tap dancing with all the little kids these days? Do you do anything with little kids or anything? It seems like a lot of people are abandoning tap dancing and ballet dancing for their cell phones.
I see. Well, I have a granddaughter that loves to dance, and of course she attends a class that's a combination of hip-hop, jazz, and everything. It's kind of a wild class. Yeah, she loves that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it's really a shame that so many of the young people spend their whole times with that finger going on the phones, and I don't know. To me, it's just I love to look at the trees and and the flowers and enjoy life, and I'm just not into. The only thing I have is a computer.
Yeah, I hear you, but I just think it's so important with all the dancing and the arts and everything. I have a love of it myself, being a tap dancer now for like 30 years. I love all of those things. But you had something really neat happen to you as a kid, and that's that you got to go overseas and actually tap dance. I know we won't make the whole show 20 minutes about tap dancing, but what a great your mom. Tell us about your mom, because moms are so important.
Well, it's very interesting because when I was 9, when I started my tap dancing, I was born in Brooklyn, and my mother could see that I loved tap dancing. No one in my family was theatrically inclined or anything, and my mother either. So I found it wonderful that she could see that when I had such an interest in dancing, she immediately took me to classes. So I started my tap dancing in Brooklyn. My first recital was at the Brooklyn Academy of Music when I was about 8. And then shortly after, when I was about 9, my mother decided to send me to Rome and in Italy, and I became a member of the Royal Opera Ballet School, which was just fabulous. But as I was studying ballet, we discovered you really have to be formed for built. Your body has to be built for ballet. Ballet is really it's very acrobatic, and I soon found my body was just not right for ballet. My turnout, as you know, was like minimal and so forth. But my real love was for tap dancing anyway. So so I lived in Paris, in Rome, for almost 2 years, and then we went to Paris. I went to school in Paris for about a year, and we came back, and then we moved to Long Island, and it was there that I started commuting on the Long Island Railroad to New York for my first drama lessons. And I remember my first drama lessons were at the
Was it Stella Adler? Was it Stella Adler?
Well, my first drama lessons were with Stella Adler and Bobby Lewis, Robert Lewis. They co-founded the group theater, which became Actors Studio. And so then I started working very early in New York. Actually, when I was about going on 18. And I was on the Steve Allen show for over a year, the Sunday night Steve Allen show, and the original Candid Camera. And actually, while I was working at that time, I did a show called Masquerade, and my future husband, Rod Steiger, was a guest on the show. And we had we had a love scene together.
Aww.
And he invited me out to dinner, and at the time he was starring on Broadway in Rashomon, and he invited me to see the play. Afterwards, we were going to dinner, and as we were crossing Broadway, I looked up, and there was this big marquee. Said, Rod Steiger starring in Al Capone. Oh, I was so excited. I said, oh, how does it feel to be starring on Broadway and starring in a movie? And he said, great, kid. Anyway, we started dating. He was such a sweet, fabulous, wonderful man. The roles that he played were always so, of course, tough guy and macho. And actually, he was a brilliant poet. And he used to read poetry to me. And I have a book of his poems here now. And later, flashing forward, when we were reunited after my first husband passed away, and we were married here in Malibu, and he wrote me a beautiful poem on our wedding day. So,
that's just so special. That's just
jumping back and forth, but I've had a very, very exciting life. I'm still having an exciting life. Very, very fortunate. You see, I always say very fortunate, and yet all my 3 wonderful men died of different cancers. But I never, I think I have been fortunate in always being a positive person. And so I have only reflected on my wonderful life, and I don't dwell on all of their passings with terrible cancers. I mean, I spent years back and forth to every hospital, I think, here in Los Angeles at the time. But anyway, through it all, I continued my acting and everything, and I'm still here, as the song goes.
You know, you have just the most beautiful smile, and your eyes, they light up. I was looking at all these pictures of you on your website, which people can go to. It's joanbenedictsteiger.com, and you have beautiful pictures of everything that you've done and now, and I mean, it's just beautiful. But you radiate love. You just a love bug. So cute. You're just and you can hear it in your voice too. Oh yeah.
I'm a very romantic person.
Yeah, you're just lovely, and I'm so honored and blessed to have you with us today. I told you before we went on live, I was just my heart was just beating so fast. I was just blessed because, you know, it's just very neat to be able to speak with you. And I know Rod Steiger is my dad's favorite actor. I grew up with my parents owning a chain of video stores, and we had a Rod Steiger category and all of his movies in there. My dad loved him.
Oh, well, I think my favorite movie that Rod did was Dr. Zhivago.
Yeah,
he was Komarovsky. He should have been nominated for that. He was nominated twice, of course. The first for The Pawnbroker, the second for The Waterfront with Marlon Brando as Marlon Brando's brother. And then he was nominated and won for Heat of the Night with Sidney Poitier.
Yeah, beautiful. I mean, just amazing career, and all of the things that you have done as well. I almost feel rushed because I only have 20 minutes with you, but if you were to, it's okay. No, don't worry.
I did two with Rod, Month of Sundays, and the other one was a TV movie, and they changed the title to Frozen in Fear, a terrible title, which also with Eric Roberts, who's such a wonderful actor.
Yeah, he's a brilliant actor too. Do you is there anything that you haven't done that you just want to? Just curious.
Well, I would like to do the play Sweet Bird of Youth. I'm just right to do that now, and I would love to do it. I know it's sometimes it's a little more difficult to get the rights to Tennessee Williams plays,
sure.
But I would love to do Sweet Bird of Youth. I love the theater. Strangely enough, when I was little and when I was in school, I never was good at memory, and I wound up doing over 40 plays. And the theater is my favorite venue. But I have to say that I work very hard to learn the parts. I write out my parts. Every actor has a different method. Some like to pre-record and work that way. But for me, I find if I write the part, somehow or other, writing it connects with my brain better. And it just takes me longer. I used to look at Rod, and he always wanted me with him. We were together, inseparable every day. And if he was doing a film and I wasn't working, I'd be with him. And he sometimes could just learn the role on the set. Not learn the role, but learn the lines, because he did, of course, a lot of research. And he'd see me just stuck in the script learning my part. He'd say, "What are you doing?" I said, "Well, it just takes me longer."
Yeah, I think I would have to do that too, just write out all the words to memorize it. I don't think or make them up, which you probably can't do, can you? You can't change the script.
But you see, Rod was very fortunate because having a big reputation, he almost changed all of his roles, not the roles, but lines, which fit with his presentation of speech and so forth. But not everybody can do that.
Yeah. Now, what are some? I'm just wondering. This has got. You must have a funny bone, because I can't imagine working with like Don Knotts and Tim Conway and not laughing the whole entire time.
Well, I have a great sense of humor, and I've done a lot of comedies, and I see almost every day. Well, I have lunch out every day because I don't cook. I never have my whole life.
Really?
And I had fabulous husbands that took me out or cooked for me. But I love to watch people watch and so forth. And I just see every day. I just see humor in almost every situation. It's just the way it is. But my first husband, John, may have been the funniest man in the world. So our whole life was surrounded with comedians for 30 years. Tim and Don, they were all dear friends, and Jonathan Winters, and if we had lots of big parties twice a year. Actually, my birthday's in July, summer. And his birthday, John's birthday, was at Christmas time, so we had two big parties. And at those parties, John would hold court, and people would actually beg him to stop talking because it actually hurt that we'd be laughing so much. I mean, he was just so funny. He was very unusual talent. He spent 12 years in Italy studying opera, so he had an incredible singing voice. Then he had his own nightclub in Rome called the Jicky Club, when Tennessee Williams, all these people used to come into his club, and where he did his comedy. And actually, he was a regular on the original Jack Parr show in New York, and Richard Rogers was watching one evening and saw John doing his comedy and singing, and he was with William Morris Agency at the time, and they called him in to the Lunt-Fontanne Theater to see Richard Rogers. I went with him, and I'll never forget that day. I was standing in the back of the Lunt-Fontanne Theater, and everyone was there. Mary Martin, Richard Halliday, Vinnie Donahue, the director, all there, and John walked around the stage, and apparently Richard Rogers had called him in to do the comedy role of Max, and when they saw John, who was so handsome and 6'2", and he had on his fur-collared coat, walked around the stage, and all of a sudden Richard Rogers called out, "Oh, no, no," and we thought, oh my gosh, what happened? He's not Max, he's Captain Von Trapp. So within that moment, he was signed for 3 years for the first original gorgeous traveling company of Sound of Music as Captain Von Trapp. And to make a long story short, I married John. We were married in Chicago. Our wedding arranged by the original Mayor Daley, and he was starring as Captain Von Trapp at the Schubert Theater for over a year in Chicago. And it was very exciting. We traveled for 3 years at all the major theaters, the Opera House, San Francisco. And then we bought our home in Hollywood, and we lived there. And John was very busy in television, and I was busy also. We had a wonderful, wonderful marriage, and then he got cancer of the tongue, which took away his whole, his singing voice, his everything, his life.
Yeah, that cancer is just, terrible. And it is. And but you've stayed so positive through everything.
Well,
you have such a beautiful life.
Our life was so exciting, so wonderful, and I just could not focus on the cancer part.
Yeah.
No. The way I look at it, with three wonderful, wonderful men, They were all so talented, and they were so believing in me. I just feel I have to, since I'm here, there must be a good reason, and I've just got to be positive and do some good things.
Well, that was what I was going to add too. There's such a good reason for you being here, and
yes,
I always say with every person that you meet, they teach you something, and you teach them something. What do you think what do you think you taught them? Huh.
I have so many everybody coming to me asking how can I be this way? Well, I think for starters, I think I was born this way, but you can really turn your life from negative to positive because I just think there are so many more positive things in life, and of course one of them is love. Just loving your fellow man too. So
well, you have you can hear also that you have just tremendous compassion for people as well. So I can hear those two things: love and compassion.
Yes, and I just enjoy life. I'm sitting here and I'm looking out at such a gorgeous day. I just can never I just look forward to waking up every day and seeing what life has to offer.
Yeah, I hear you. I love it too. Life is precious and beautiful, and it's even more precious and beautiful with you in it. And I don't want to keep you any longer because I know you have to go. And I just completely appreciate you so much that you've shared.
I have to ask one other thing. I do want to mention my wonderful Jeremy Slate.
Oh yes, please.
Yes, after Rod had passed away, I did get together with Jeremy Slate, and I always called him my little angel. He was aside from being an extremely handsome guy, he did hundreds of movies and television, loads of westerns, and was a wonderful, wonderful companion to me for almost 4 years. So I just have to get in to talk about him, and I just wanted to mention him.
Yeah, I did too, but I didn't know if you were that short on time. But can we mention before we?
I just wanted to mention him, and we had wonderful love.
Oh, can I mention your show, The Loves of My Life? Can you talk about that a little bit?
Oh yes, actually, that I did that in the Gardenia Cabaret here in Hollywood, and I sang 15 songs.
Oh, how wonderful! Sing too.
And
I love it.
Talked about and I had written about my life, and I talked about all my guys.
Oh, that's cute.
The loves of my life. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep. All right. Well, I have one love of my life, and I've been married to him for 14 years, and I have 4 kids, and it's all good. And,
that's wonderful, and that's the way I had always planned it.
And it's not exactly the way it always goes, is it? And so
no,
I think
had always planned.
Yeah. I think you're. Go ahead. Sorry.
That's all right. No,
yeah.
I just wanted to say, well, it was a pleasure talking with you and sharing some of my stories, and
thank you.
I hope some of the listeners enjoyed it too.
Well, I think everybody will love hearing from you, and I think they'll love the joy that's in your voice, especially, and the positive attitude that you have. It's a wonderful thing to be able to teach people about how to be positive and so forth. So I really appreciate that, because it goes with everything that we do here at Best Ever You. And
wonderful.
And life doesn't always go as you plan it, and
that's right.
A really neat thing that you can I'd love to hear more from you sometime about the mindset that you have. Maybe you could come back on.
Maybe we can talk again at another time.
Yeah, perfect. Well, have a beautiful day. Enjoy tap
dancing. You too.
Thank you. All right, everyone. I just want to thank Joan Benedict Steiger for being with us today. And boy, what a wonderful, wonderful person and actress, and beautiful. Anyway, all right, I won't go on here. I know everybody is got a busy day ahead of them, and if you get a moment, please stop at besteveryou.com and join us. And you can join our website for free. And we are doing another show tomorrow, and I'll put that information out on Twitter and Facebook as well. So thank you, everyone, and thank you especially to Joan Benedict Steiger for being with us. You can visit her website. I'm going to actually spell it. It's JoanBenedictSteiger.com. All righty, everyone, thank you so much, and have a great day.
Blog Talk Radio, where millions of hosts and listeners gather.